guys, welcome back to the channel. It is your girl Alana Simone. So first of all, I wanted to welcome you guys in. I hope you're having an amazing day. So today we're going to be talking about Ferocious Fight. And so, this thing is, I feel like this topic is really important because, oftentimes when we think of a fight or we think of, something along those lines, we think that somebody may be fighting or we maybe can form a picture in our mind of something that involves a fight, whether that's a boxing match, whether that's a physical fight outside, or two, trying to fight somebody on the street because they cut you off in line or something like that. There's so many different fights that we can get ourselves into. And so, one thing about the word fight is it opens your mind to be able to think about many different things. And so, but today I wanted to talk about ferocious fight and the aspect of faith. Sometimes on our faith journey, I talk about this a lot on my channel. We have to sometimes, go on a journey in faith, and it involves us to have to fight. It involves us to have to fight. And not like fight like, oh my God, you're punching somebody like that. No. But it involves us to really have to just fight sometimes, depending on the type of journey you are on in your faith walk. But sometimes you have to fight. You have to fight for the promises of God in your life. You have to fight for the things that God has instructed you to do. And sometimes it can be a ferocious fight. Sometimes the fight can get so intense to where it really can feel like you're just fighting. And sometimes it can maybe leave you feeling defeated. It can make you feel maybe even depleted because you're giving so much, you're fighting so much, and you're like, okay, with faith, you have to press through to the end to be able to receive the things that God has for you on the other side. But sometimes that fight can be ferocious. Sometimes that fight can really, take us on a journey that we didn't expect, and that, really, has us just fighting and feeling really like we're giving every single thing. And so, that's one thing that, faith comes with, though. And in that, we just have to understand that sometimes, yes, on our journey, we can go through things, and, especially on the faith walk, and it may not be the best. It may not be what we expected. Sometimes we think we're going to get on the faith journey with God and really activate our faith, and it's going to be peaches and cream, and that there's going to be little lollipop stands along the way, and we're just going to grab lollipops and skip down the little the little yellow brick road. But a lot of times that's not what happens, and a lot of times sometimes we have to go through a fight. There has been, for me in my life, I know in my different faith journeys, there has been really good faith journeys, and then there's been like ferocious faith journeys. And this past season that I've been in, for a particular promise in my life, it's been a ferocious fight type of faith journey. And let me tell you, it has been super crazy. It has been super like, wow, like, it's just been mind-blowing, the things that I've had to endure and go through to be able to receive one of the promises that God has for my life. But let me tell you something, God works, He knows what's best for us, and He works in crazy ways that we couldn't even think of and imagine. But thank God that we're not God, and He knows everything. And He knows our life, and He knows what we need. And so sometimes we get on this journey and we're like, okay, why are you having me go through all this? And what's going on? But He knows what's best. And I thank God for knowing what's best in my life. And because during this ferocious fight of faith journey for me, that I'll be able to share, coming here soon. It's not time yet, but soon I'll be able to share more of my journey. But one thing that I've learned is that God makes no mistakes. And even if we're in our situation and circumstance and we may not understand why He's taking us through certain things, one thing that He allows me and has had me do is take a time of reflection and really reflect on what I need to learn and what He's teaching me on this journey of faith with Him, what He's teaching me and wants me, and what He's instilling in me and placing in me on this, journey. And some of the things that I've from my reflection that I've understood is that he has been increasing strength in me. He has been increasing endurance in me. He has been increasing my faith overall, because the journey that he's had me on, you can't win it. You can't get to the promise. You can't receive what he has for you unless you have faith. And so, I've just learned so much. And so this journey, it has been a ferocious fight of faith for sure. But in the end, I know it's going to be victorious. In the end, I know that God knows the plans that he has for my life, and it's going to be an amazing testimony at the end. But the biggest thing is I wanted to encourage you today is don't give up. Sometimes we go through a journey of faith where it can be a ferocious fight, where it can feel like our life is just like we're just getting knocked down one punch after the other. Boom, 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 boom. Like, it just feels like you're just getting punched. Especially when you're walking in obedience and really standing for the things that God has for you. And so we may not understand. We're like, okay, if I'm in obedience and I'm walking, why am I getting punched? Why is things happening in my life that I didn't expect? But that's just what comes with it. Sometimes that's what happens. But our thing is, the biggest thing I want to leave you with is making sure that you don't give up, making sure that you take your time to reflect, take the time to really seek God and ask him what he's doing in this journey that you're on, what he's doing in the season that you're in, and what he's instilling in you, what he's putting in you, what he wants to teach you, what he wants to allow you to learn, because there is always something. And when we open our eyes and when we open our mind to be able to receive from him, we then understand the journey, more better, and so oftentimes we can get defeated, or we can allow the punches to continue to knock us down until where we're in a defeated state and we're letting the ferocious fight win. But no, we win at the end of the day. We win because God is on our side, first of all. And we can take the power back in our minds and in our circumstances and really, evaluate and see what's going on, and asking God for help to understand what's going on in this season, what's going on in this journey that you have me on. What do I need to learn? I'm not God, so I don't know all things, but he knows all things. And he will reveal things and help us gain insight to be able to better understand the journeys that we go on that include ferocious fights of faith, because it's a special journey and it's different for each and every person, but it's a significant journey. And I think so many people look at this type of journey of faith as a bad part of it, but it's actually a really good part, because God is doing so much in the seasons that he has us in and the journeys that he has us on. But we have to open our mind and even open our mouth to ask him, Lord, what are you doing? What are you doing in my life in this season? What do I need to learn? Yes, I may feel defeated. Yes, I may feel knocked down 50 million times, but I need to get back up and be able to understand what you're doing, so that I can continue to move forward to receive the promises and the things that you have for my life. So look at it like that. We all go through the ferocious fight of faith journey, and it's a constant journey in our walk when you're walking by faith. Faith wouldn't be faith without having new levels of faith each and every time. So if you're still on the same level of faith, then it's like you need to increase your faith, and increasing your faith comes with, things in your life changing, things in your life challenging you, things in your life that just make you grow. Like, you have to grow. You can grow in faith. You don't have to just stay at this little baby level of faith. You can have big levels of faith. There's levels to faith. And so just know that. But you got to be willing to go through, the different phases of faith, which one can be ferocious fight of faith, and allow it to be able to shape and mold you to then take you to the next level. So you guys be open to that. Think about that. Don't give up when, faith can be a ferocious fight at times and can really make you feel like somebody's throwing punches at you. Listen, it's normal. It's regular. We all go through it. So the biggest thing I would encourage you with is don't give up. If you endure to the end, you will see the fruit of your labor. You will see the promises that God has for you. So many oftentimes people quit in the process and never get to see the promise or the fruit of what God was really doing in that season, because they let their season dictate that moment right there, dictate like it allowed them to forfeit their future. And so, you know, we have so much to live for, we have so much to look forward to, but we don't want to allow where we're at to keep us from where God wants to take us. So be encouraged today. Know that God is with you. Know that God is available to talk to you and give you insight, and just do a reflection on your life. You know, I always like to reflect. I always like to just sit down and take time with God and with myself, and just knowing, like, just really, you know, discovering new things and you know, learning from where I'm at, the current season that He has me in. So be encouraged today, you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.